want to paint on something different today. I know, piece of wood. Too small. Too chunky. Too grubby. Please. I know. Let's paint some wood. To prepare my canvas, I'm going to use this buff titanium white acrylic. I don't want to use a white canvas. I want my canvas to be a warm beige colour. And just start out by putting a small amount on the canvas, and then I'm going to use one of these. It's a small roller, and I want to just spread this paint out nice and thin. So here's my canvas. It's had a couple of coats of this buff titanium white, and I've let it dry completely, and it's ready for some oil paint. I'm going to be using two 1-inch brushes, a fan brush and a filbert and an old filbert, and a liner brush, and of course a palette knife. I'm going to start with some Bob Ross liquid clear, which I use in from one of these little airtight containers. It's a sealed lid, so I can put this in the freezer and chill it. I'll be using one of my two 1-inch brushes, and you can see this one is a much newer brush. It's much longer. This is an old brush, and you can see, well, it's a bit threadbare, like me. Anyway, this is my brush for the liquid clear, and this is because I'm going to really scrub it on well. So just take a small amount on the end of the bristles, and I like to just divide my canvas into rough quarters and work on 1/4 at a time, and really scrub this into the canvas. Hang on to that canvas, don't want it to be bouncing around. This is the clue. When you're using liquid clear, scrub it in really well. Time to test our canvas. For this, I'm just going to use my finger. And you can see here, well, speedboat trails. That means it's a little bit on the wet side, and it'll make the canvas too slippery. Down here, well, no slug trails, and it's just about perfect to paint on. So let's just use a piece of kitchen towel just to wipe this gently. Now don't scrub it because it will get all the fluff coming off of it, but just a gentle wipe, and there we go, fixed. I want to use this 1-inch brush again, but I'm going to take all the liquid clear out first by just giving it a really good pinch and a good squeeze and pull. We don't want more liquid clear getting into our paint. Here's my palette. Only 3 colours to start with: black, sap green and alizarin crimson. I'll add all the others as and when I need them. And the very first thing I want to do is to make a new colour called Christmas brown. That's sap green, which is like the leaves of a holly tree, and red for the berries. Mix this up and you'll find a lovely rich warm brown colour as a result. There we go. Perfect for painting a little bit of wood. So here's my dry clean brush, and I'm going to go into just a small amount, just on the tips of the bristles, and I want to just add this in layers. Think about how the planks would need to be painted, so up and down strokes are good, and put the odd little shake and the odd little wiggle in there to get a little bit more paint in some areas. We're trying to sort of recreate the look of wood grain or some old planks of wood. This is a lot of fun to do, and you can really play with this a lot. If you enjoy watching me do these little paintings, then consider giving me a like and a subscribe. If you want to support the channel a bit more, you could even buy me a coffee. Well, it's more like buying me some supplies or a tube of paint, because that's where the money goes. Thank you. I've got a tiny little bit of black on the end of my brush now, just a touch. I want to just put the suggestion of a bit of weathering or aging on this wood, but you can personalise this as you wish. Use a little bit more sap green or crimson, or even a little hint of blue. Well, whatever makes you happy, but just here and there. And don't forget, you can be putting a mountain on top of this, so don't cover it all up completely, but, well, enjoy yourself. Let's use a little drop of thinners next. I need a little speck of this, and I'm going to apply it with a fan brush. So just a tiny drop, don't overdo it, and squeeze out the majority of it. Tap some off and hold on to your hats, folks, because thinners reacts violently with liquid clear. And I'm just going to put on a small amount here, and what you will see is the oil paint starting to split and separate. And you can get some really lovely gnarly effects, but it takes a little while for this to happen. I have a special artist watch just so I can keep an eye on the time. Here it is, and I like to set my alarm for about half an hour. All the thinness has reacted and left all these lovely little trails, but they are a little bit on the heavy side, so I'm just going to use a clean, dry filbert brush. I just want to tease out some of these heavier areas, a little bit more sort of split and separated. And you can use the thinners or not, it's optional really, but it does create some lovely effects. I like to use a fan brush occasionally as well, just to soften some of the edges without taking out too much of the detail. But it's all rather an experiment and fun to do, and you're never quite sure how it's all going to turn out. The good thing is, if you do something you don't like, well, you can just blend it out and start again. Time for one more effect. I'm going to use a filbert brush. You'll see I made a mistake at this point, but well, let's carry on. A filbert brush and some of that lovely Christmas brown paint, and pick a spot on the canvas like here where maybe you want to put a nice sort of knot, and I'm going to go straight in with my brush and give it a bit of a twist. There we go. And yep, it's about now I realised that I should have picked up that old filbert brush. But being a bloke, I just ploughed, of course. Let's see if we can fix it. Quick dab of the old magic blender, and of course it's gone. Now, with an old filbert brush and a little bit of paint, really press and twist. This is why you need an old brush that splays out a little bit. You want it to actually make all those little circles that you would see in a real wood knot. Twist it backwards and forwards, lots of pressure though, and give it a little tail here and there so it looks like it's actually part of the background wood. I added a few more on here and then soften out those edges just a little bit more. It's time to plan a mountain painting, so I'm going to measure down about halfway. This is the very base of the mountain, so I'm just using a couple of these little map pins you buy from stationers. I want this to give me a quick reference as to where the bottom of the mountain should be, and they don't have to be particularly level, just roughly halfway. I've added some more colours, I'll list them down below, and I'm going to start off with Van Dyke Brown, some black, a nice dab of Prussian blue, and a little bit of alizarin crimson. I'm going to mix those up, and I want a dark inky blue-black colour. Perfect. This is the first colour for my mountain. I wipe my knife off and I slide up and I pick up a small even roll of paint, about as big as a cocktail stick. And I want to just plan where the mountain is going. So I don't want to be too close to the top, allow 3-4 inches, and firm pressure, really push this paint down into the canvas, but really lean on that knife and scrape out the excess paint as you go. That's essential. I'm also going to be putting some dark around this left hand side. Let's add a second peak over on the right hand side, and this wants to be aiming roughly in the direction of that pin, and maybe a little peak on the left hand side aiming for this pin. Make sure they're at slightly different heights so that you have a sort of a main peak second and a third peak, all slightly different and all pulled down. There we go. Don't worry too much about rough edges, we'll get to that, but keep the dark in the top of the mountain and away from the horizon line. And look at these angles, well, they're a little bit like roofs of houses, aren't they? So I'm going to change these angles a little bit. I'm going to have some upward and downward angles that are slightly less steep. One final scrape and then we'll be ready to blend out the base of this mountain. I'm going to use the brush I used to make in the wood effects and dry clean this really well. It's only got a little bit of Christmas brown on it, so it won't hurt. I want to use this brush just to soften the lower edge of this mountain. I want this mountain to appear to be floating and getting rid of all these hard edges. Now aim for the pins. Don't pull straight down and don't drag all the dark paint down to the bottom of the canvas. You want this to be just soft and blended. Time to mix up some highlight colour for the snow. Take a little bit of titanium white, and to this I'm going to add just a tiny dot of bright red. I don't want pure white, I want white with a hint of pink in it, so just very subtle. And if it gets too pink on you, well, I left a little bit of titanium white at the top, so you can adjust your colour accordingly, but you want it to be just off white. And for the shadow side of my mountain, a little bit less white, a tiny little bit of phthalo blue, just a touch, very strong paint, marble this up, and I'm going to grey it slightly with a little bit of the dark blue colour we made for the base of the mountain, so it just knocks the brightness off a little bit more, but leave it marbly and streaky. I'm going to slide my knife up and get a nice even roll of paint, and I want to have a look at this. It's an even roll from one end of the blade to the other. That's very important. You want a nice even roll of paint from the heel of the knife to the point of the knife, not a big chunk in the middle. So I've got my palette knife and I want to think about the sun coming from the right hand side, and I've got my knife very loosely held. I just use these fingers on the top of the knife and I hold it around the metal part, but you see barely any pressure on the blade. You just want it to almost float freely in your hand, and the point of the knife goes to the peak of the mountain, and just gentle pressure, touch with the knife. Kick that handle out a little bit when you do this. It's actually the stickiness of the paint that keeps it on the canvas, and gently slide down the mountain, aiming for that pin. And notice how I start here and let the handle rotate, so I spin the knife in my fingers as I go. So you start as a steep angle, and as you go down, flatten the knife and follow the edge of the mountain and complete it as a full stroke. Don't stop halfway. Another little roll of paint tucked under the first stroke, steep angle, let it come down, let the paint break, and off. This takes some practice, and I've been doing this for many years, so practice makes perfect for this one. But don't go back over it too many times. You'll fill in all those little dark holes, catch those little edges, because there was a little bit of a dark top there I didn't quite like. Okay, time for the shadow colour. So a small roll of that blue-grey colour we made, and this time I'm going to go from this peak down to the left, and I go up behind that snowy highlight and I give it a bump and I pull. Steep angle and pull. I think my blue is still a bit sparkly, this bit, so I think I'm going to vary it a little bit, put a bit more of that base dark blue colour into my mix and go a bit grayer, and I'm going to do this little peak here. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. I've used the small edge of my knife here to sneak into that little gap at the top. That bit there. And again, don't kill off all that lovely dark colour. Take careful note that there is actually 3 colours on my mountain. The dark base colour, the snowy highlight, and the shadow highlight. You don't want to overfill your mountain with snow or shadow, because it just becomes sort of like a big iced cake. So little touches of shadow and highlight here, and really get to play with your mountains. They're a lot of fun to do, and once you master them, well, you'll be so proud. One final touch, and my mountain's complete. Don't forget to join me for part 2 when I'll be completing Fisherman's Trail. But in the meantime, here's another video you might like to look at. Happy painting, people!